Today is February 6th. It's a snow day, but the Yankees got Tim Hill. Are those things related? No. What's the bullpen look like? What are the next moves? Let's talk Yanks.
Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Jimmy. BBD is here. We are at the Warehouse Studio in Jersey City, the Owner Suite Studio in Jersey City, short porch right field of our Blitzball Stadium, and then this is a studio, so we call it the Owner Suite. Jake's not here. I am. It's for February 6th. Snow is on the ground. We're talking baseball. But we do have some action, and we do have some things to discuss. It's not incredibly riveting. They did not go sign Bregman or Arenado. Alonso's off the board. Not that he was ever going to come. But pieces are starting to fall, and it's just one notch in the pendulum or whatever the hell you want to call it, one rotation in the gears that make me start thinking again of okay, what's next and what's next? Because we were just stagnant for a while. I couldn't even play the game.
I think they literally went the month of January without one of these moves.
Yeah. But based on kind of the conversation Jake and I had last episode about a lefty reliever, and then they do sign Tim Hill right after that, I would appreciate better timing for us, please. Cash, if you could do that right before we record instead of right after, that would be great. But I do think there's some more moves, but then I also have new thoughts on Stroman. I have some just general thoughts that are new as we get into this. So I'm excited. Episode's brought to you by SeatGeek, and let's chat. We are at the warehouse, as I said, and I just noticed we got the new ads on the screen. We're filming next week. We're filming our Blitzball battle, so Jake and I are got to gear up. It's kind of spring training for us. We've been doing all these practices and tests, getting my old ass body in shape, and this
Practicing a lot of back-to-backs.
Yeah, I have been practicing back-to-backs. I've never done that before in the history of our warehouse. I just pitch once a week, usually Thursdays. That's our warehouse day. And then come tournament time, you have to pitch 3 days in a row.
At least.
And, I'm not in shape, nor do I practice.
And some of the people that play are young.
Oh, yeah.
Very flexible.
The difference between 25 and 35 on bounce back as DJ, it's crazy. So me and Joe's have been doing back-to-back, and I will be here tomorrow to throw on my tired arm again and get hurt. Anyway, let's get into it. They signed Tim Hill. If you, if you're out there and you've decided that you're going to be a brand new Yankee fan, right? And you're like, hey, I don't like the way them Dodgers were talking. I feel bad for these Yankees. I have sympathy for the Yankees. If that's you right now, welcome. You're one of a kind. I don't know if anyone's ever joined the fan base out of sympathy.
But, it's a new era. The Dodgers are now the bad guys of baseball, so
yeah,
maybe that's a trend that'll start.
Yeah, I like that. They did talk so much shit. John Birdie was recently on Foul Territory saying they talked shit like we didn't even belong to be there. It was rude. And then the general consensus around at least on Reddit, base fans, yeah, it was kind of too much at one point. It was, I'm glad they did in a way, because it really stuck it to them. Hey, fix your defense.
It seems like it did get the Yankees decision makers to act.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is Tim Hill, he was on the White Sox last year, historically the worst team in the history of the sport. No team has had a worse season than the 2024 White Sox, dating hundreds of years. They released him. They said, nah.
They got to June and he wasn't performing.
They're like, you aren't even helping this team. You got to go, which is crazy. And then he gets put on waivers. And the way that works is the worst team gets priority. And the Yankees were the best team in the American League, and he didn't get claimed by anyone below them. right?
I believe that is how it went down.
Like he didn't,
Or he might have fully passed and they got him like after he cleared and was just a free agent.
Yes, so he cleared waivers. So no one said, I'll take him, because then you have to trade something for him.
Yeah, or you have to at least like pay the transaction fee or
so
whatever it was.
So no one wanted to do that. So he was pretty down in the dumps, which is crazy. In his first 27 games with the White Sox, he had a 5.87 ERA, and right before his last outing on the day he got traded, he helped that out. Wow, he had a stretch on the White Sox here. Their bullpen was really bad. Like their starters he had a stretch at the end, 4 games, where he had a 27 ERA, gave up 9 runs in 3 innings. So the White Sox said, you got to go. The Yankees picked him up. His first appearance with the Yankees, he gave up 3 runs, unearned, mind you, unearned. And then they kept using him, not in high leverage, like down 3, up 5, down 4, down 1. And he just kept getting ground balls.
And in his career, he's been a ground ball guy, but he became like the biggest ground ball rate in baseball.
Yes. He just kept getting ground balls. He throws, it's a funky arm angle. It's something different. Comes playoff time, and all of a sudden, last year, Tim Hill is part of the pen. He's part of the fabric. He's part of the identity. He's part of the game plan that they're making against teams, which is crazy. In the playoffs, he's entering games up 1 in the 6th. He did that twice in the once in the ALDS, once in the ALCS. He's entering in the ALCS in the 5th inning when they're up by 1 run and no outs. So he becomes part of what they need, and he performs incredibly well for them. Let's see, a 233 slugging against. Wow. 108 ERA in 8.1 postseason innings. So everyone thought that he should come back and wanted him back, and it seems like Tim Hill wanted to be back. It's just about money and figuring stuff out. They saved some money on Jazz's arbitration. He took $2 million less than the projected for Jazz. So we joked at that point in the show, like, well, Jazz was he's just donating to the Tim Hill fund. Turns out that wasn't enough. They needed to get $500K from Mark Leiter. So Mark Leiter goes to arbitration. He loses his case, and the Yankees save $500K there. Boom. Now you got the $2 million from the Jazz, the $500K from the Leiter, and you've got your Tim Hill fund. They go to Timmy Jim and they say, how about 1 year, $2.5 million? And he says, great, I'll take that. So the arbitration savings landed us Tim Hill, which was a joke we were talking about, but it was like a half joke because it was very like the math.
It is close to like even with arbitration projections with the Tim Hill money.
Yeah.
So.
He has an option for 2026 worth $3 million and a $350K buyout. So is that how he gets to the guaranteed 2.5?
So he's guaranteed 2.85. So that'll be on top of the 2.5.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what his luxury tax number is quite yet, because the sources I have just haven't updated his page yet.
He's making the same amount as Luke Weaver and half as much as Loizaga. That's interesting how much they gave Loizaga.
Yeah, Loizaga had a market. And relievers are getting paid a little bit.
And Weaver's a steal. Mark Leiter's making $2 million.
Yeah, and we didn't do any Tommy Canley talk, I don't think, on a Talkin Yanks episode, but he got almost $8 million for a year. Like, relievers got paid pretty good this offseason.
I've kind of liked what the Tigers are doing lately. I don't know if it's because I like Glaber's bat. I like Canley, the guy.
Like, signed 2 guys we've liked watching.
Yeah. Half of Glaber I liked watching. But, so Tim Hill joins the bullpen. What does that do for the Yankees? Because I was going to play like Jekyll and Hyde, but I don't really want to do that because debating against myself, you guys know half of it I don't believe in. Or maybe I'm on the fence, I believe in both. Maybe that's where I am. Because like Tim Hill, I guarantee people are coming to this episode and they're saying like, really? Like you're doing like a whole thing on Tim Hill. Like he got released by the White Sox last year. Like, yes, but we haven't had anything in a while. We needed a lefty reliever. We got a lefty reliever. His specialty is double plays and ground balls. They need an improved defense, especially lefty-lefty. You're going to get a lot of ground balls a second. So like Glaber and Rizzo, the Yankees had the worst right side of the infield ever last year. Glaber was 30th. And I think first base, they didn't grade out great defensively.
Definitely not on the whole. How much of that is Rizzo? Rizzo is visibly different than his reputation any other year.
First base as a whole was not a bright spot defensively last year.
No.
So
we'll get to that with some of their NRIs later.
Funky lefty reliever that pitches to lefties. So with Goldie, if he's can, have his form even close to above average, and if Jazz goes to second, like you have a better defense for Tim Hill, and what you do is Boone has a double play weapon. So you get a runner's on first. You say, Cole, start the seventh inning. And he walks the first batter. It's like Hill can come out because that's his role. Maybe the sixth inning, seventh inning, you're probably going to go to Weaver or Cruz. But in that fifth inning, sixth inning, runner on, this is his role. I like when guys have roles. They know what they're going to do. Boone knows how to deploy them. It's easy. He can go lefties, but really he's going to get balls on the ground. He had an 86% ground ball rate. 68. Sorry, I switched numbers. 86 would be crazy. Which was the highest in MLB last year. The lowest strikeout rate. So he's a ball and play guy. They don't have many of those in the bullpen.
They subbed out two of their like premier ball and play ground ball guys for strikeout guys, and they needed more strikeouts in their bullpen.
Yes,
so.
but it's nice to have this role in the fifth, sixth, like get out of a mess inning, double plays available. So that's what they've added to the bullpen. Is this the lefty strikeout reliever that you're going to say, hey, you go get Devers that Jake was asking for? Not really.
Yeah, but still probably like a lefty who strikes guys out, but.
Yeah, the other thing that went into my thought process here about the whole bullpen is when you look at Fangraph's roster resource, which is a great website. If you're a baseball fan and you don't like go to websites and look at stats and stuff, but you just you're interested in roster construction stuff, or people always ask us like where you're getting this from. Roster Resource was a website that just a dude did. I wish I knew his name, like 4 years ago, and Fangraphs bought it from him. It used to be its own site.
Yeah, I remember when it was like, I just had a link to a Google sheet.
And Fangraphs bought it from him. It was just a way to display info, and I absolutely love it. So you go Fangraphs roster resource, you click Yankees, you can see the depth chart, which is really great. You can see payroll, offseason tracker, but the depth chart is always interesting. I don't always agree with it. They're not always spot on. Like
ultimately, it is still like a small team of guys just putting in what they think. It's an educated guess.
Yeah. And they are fast. They do listen to stuff and change things. But what they have for the bullpen right now is a guy less than a bullpen should have, because Marcus Stroman is still on the roster as a sixth starter. So they need another reliever. And that's because at first I went to look at the bullpen and I was like, all right, I think they're still going to add another reliever, but who in the bullpen right now gets dropped? There's only two guys that can get sent down, Ian Hamilton and Fernando Cruz. I don't think in their plan they have those guys getting options.
Like something happened.
Yeah. Brubaker's on there as long relief. I do think that he's not a lock. Like they will make a move if they have to. But what I realized is, we have 6 pitchers because Marcus Stroman's still on the team, and that's not the case. And like Brubaker, he might be starting in AAA as a starter rather than long relief. So they might add 2 more bullpen guys once they move Stroman. That train of thought stopped right there, because then I thought they don't have to move Stroman for so long. Like Luis Hill was a huge part of the team last year, and he was not scheduled to be in the rotation in spring. And I think we can go through every year, basically, of this podcast of breaking camp and who.
It's very rare that the people you thought would be the 5 entering camp are the 5 on opening day, whether that be injury or some guy showing up and kind of lighting it up in camp or whatever. Usually an injury.
I mean, you go back to 2017, Luis Severino, Jordan Montgomery, and a couple other guys were in a competition for the starting roles. Sevy got it. Monty got it. Sevy was like Cy Young-esque, and Monty was Rookie of the Year-esque. And neither of those, like Monty was a last-second decision in 2017.
Monty was like fully a surprise to the Yankees that he was that ready. They honestly brought him in as a prospect.
So there are always add-ons because you're going to have injuries and setbacks and all of that. Right now, they have Brubaker and Cookie Carrasco as their, and Will Warren, if they really love what he's doing, as their sixth starter. Stroman's better than those guys with a good defense as a sixth starter. Sure, if you have something to do with the money, there's better ways to allocate that $8 million. You don't want to pay that for a sixth starter. But if an injury were to happen tomorrow, are they trading Stroman? I don't know.
It's definitely not like a lock anymore because it is nice to have him just available.
Yeah.
It's like not to say Stroman was amazing last year or anything, but like he is a quality league average at least starter who can be a reliable source of innings over the course of 162. I know they didn't use him in the playoffs, but
I still think they're going to try and move him. So I'm not saying that, but the people that are trying to rush it, I think I am now of the mindset, no, let's get to spring, because if there's a huge injury and there's not a market, I think
I have to like eat a substantial amount of money to get it done. Like at some point, you might as well just hold on to the asset if you're not going to be able to use his money elsewhere, which is the main reason why they've wanted to move him all winter.
Yeah,
or just hold it.
So yeah, it kind of changed on that, and then I do think that you have wiggle room in spring to bring guys in. There's lefties out there, and then the other thought, we heard a rumor of a rumor of a whisper of a rumor from, and I don't even really believe it, to be honest. Like I think like the way that the through the grapevine, I don't know how it got passed on to me. I was like, that doesn't even sound.
It's obviously not enough that we like.
Doesn't sound real, yeah.
Not that we play that game anyway.
But I mentioned the name on the episode last week, and the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, he is a better role than Brubaker, or if they can move Stroman, bring this guy in, and it's Yarby, because he's a lefty. He can be a long man. He can be a spot starter, and you don't have to use options on a guy down in AAA. So Yarbrough, Rays, Dodgers, Blue Jays.
At the end of last year.
We did an interview with him way back in the day. Nice guy. But he does kind of like that mold of a long relief, can make a spot start, can be, he was a bolt guy forever. They never let him pitch the first inning in Tampa. So that name kind of like, it's sticking out to me just the way the lineup is, and it doesn't even need to be based on a Stroman move.
You could bring him in regardless.
If they think they're going to get to 5 pitchers, they're not going to break camp with 6 starting pitchers. There's a bullpen spot open until Loaizaga joins.
Yeah, there's straight up one available.
There's one available, and I do think they're going to open with 5 starters, not 6 on the.
Yeah, usually if anything, there's funny business as far as roster stuff where they technically open with 4, if anything. I don't think Yankees will do that either, but
that also Yarby is not a high strikeout guy, nor like the high leverage guy we're talking about that Jake was saying he wants, and I think they need too. But as far as that long relief spot start and just adding a lefty and maybe he can become something, a vet, I am interested. There's other names I said too that like perked my ears up, but this guy, Yarby's pitched 98 innings last year, 89, 80. So it's more than your average 1-inning reliever. And I wonder, I was thinking like, you look at their bullpen right now, Devin Williams is going to go 1 inning. He has learned from Hader and the other closers around the league. If you want to get big closer money, you go before arbitration's over. You pitch in save situations 1 inning at a time, and he's earned that right. He's very, very good. Weaver, he can go 2, but I mean, if you want him to last over the course of the year,
Be available for as many games as possible.
Hamilton with his injuries, Cruz, like, I don't know how many multiple inning guys they have here. Leiter can become that. We talked about that. Medium leverage Mark Leiter, ML. Mm-hmm. So that was just a thought I had, is like that name. We did that exercise last week. I walked away and I said, oh, that name still kind of stands out. It passes
the sniff test in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So that was a new thought I had. Jake Cousins, what's going on with Jake Cousins?
He was good last year. But he is he's one of the guys that has options. So I think like a roster resource situation has him down there because.
Oh, interesting.
So at this moment, I guess he would be.
So I feel like I've been got. Because you also got Scott Efros, but he's got options, and I think they're going to want to really see him go. For some reason, I didn't like what he was doing in AAA last year because they never called him up. Jake Cousins.
He was legitimately good last year.
Yes.
Lower leverages and earned his way into some trusted spots.
Against righties.
Yes.
Like
he had lanes.
What they feared from Ottavino back in the day, and we were like, Ottavino can get lefties out. You guys are kind of like manufacturing this. Mm-hmm. Cousins last year was what they feared in Ottavino. He was not good against righties.
Against lefties.
One or the other.
He's a righty, Cousins.
I know, but wasn't his stuff? I'm trying to remember the regular season. Down the stretch, it changed when he got into high leverage situations. He was not good against lefties. His stats on the year don't say that, but I remember us going through in the postseason.
I guess it was fairly limited exposure.
Yeah, well, yeah, they really didn't let him. They really didn't let him face.
Enough of a sample, you would say like, well, last year he was good, but I think they also probably picked their spots and lower leverage spots against those lefties.
In the postseason, he really had to pitch against lefties in a lot of spots, and I remember like pulling up the numbers and being like, I don't think that's good. But yeah, okay, Cousins is interesting. But he has options, and Fangraphs has him down.
Because he just can be optioned.
I don't have him that much behind like Hamilton. They're kind of the same ilk to me. 571 on base percentage. Lefties had in the postseason with a 333 batting average. He was kind of pitching around them, if you remember.
Yeah,
his slider was nasty to righties, though.
Like in theory, this like healthiest version of the bullpen would have Williams, Weaver, Hamilton, Cruz, Hill, Leiter, Loaizaga, Cousins. Loaizaga gets to start the year but will be starting the year on the IL, so that clears his roster spot. But that is 8 guys in a full bullpen if they were to all be healthy.
Holy shit. Okay, I just ran into something. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm getting my friend Sess on. Just counting. I wish there was an easier way to count. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35 pitchers in the minor leagues for the Yankees. AAA, AA, single A, low A. 35, is that what I said?
You said 35.
How many of them do you think are lefties in the minor leagues of those 35?
I'm guessing because you're asking, it's not a lot, and I can't think of very many. Off the top of my head, I know Henry Lillane is a prospect some people like who was hurt last year.
2. They have 2 lefties in the whole farm. No way, right?
Now they brought one guy's at NRI.
Relievers.
Relief options. So I think Lillane's a starting prospect still.
So yeah, they do have some starters. I was looking at relievers, which I guess is a weird thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just all righties out of the bullpens down there. Interesting. And like some of them are, one of the lefty relievers, Ryan Anderson's a Rule 5 guy. Okay. Anyway, so that's the bullpen thoughts, new Stroman thoughts, everything thoughts, trying to figure it out. I do think, once spring training, other teams get injured. I think a lot of teams right now, as far as the trade market goes, it's stalled until let's get to spring, see what the injuries are, see what pans out, all of that shit.
And there's a couple, we're talking about the options for a Stroman trade specifically, there's still a couple free agents out there that I would probably go first.
Yeah.
Unless the team is particularly high on Stroman, but like Gibby's still out there. Quintana, who was good for extended stretches last year, still out there.
True.
So that's at least 2. I think Lance Lynn.
Closer Lance Lynn is what I read.
Whoa.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we got a bunch of waiver wire pickups, and then I'm going to read the NRI invitee list and react to it in live time because I haven't seen it. But first, I'm going to catch my breath and grab a drink of my coffee. You do the same.
It's a new year, and we're all about setting goals and actually hitting them this year. And that's why I want to talk to you about today's sponsor, Huel, spelled H-U-E-L, the global complete nutrition brand trusted by millions. Huel is a perfectly balanced meal designed by experts to provide all the nutrients your body needs from a meal. Huel takes the guesswork out of healthy eating. They're convenient and taste so good. Huel shakes actually taste like a milkshake, and they come in chocolate or vanilla. I like the black edition, ready to drink, because it's got 35 grams of protein plus 27 vitamins and minerals, all in one handy bottle. So join the community of Hooligans with this exclusive offer for new customers, 15% off plus a free gift with code YANKS at Huel.com. 15% plus a free gift for new customers with the code YANKS at Huel.com. Start your year off strong. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters.
Yankees claim 2 players on waivers. Braden Shoemake and Owen White. This is going to be a very quick segment. At this time of year, the Yankees always do this, and they just kind of stash guys when they have roster spots available. They put claims in on guys that were talented, like Braden Shoemake was a first-round pick, I think, in 2019. Hasn't found success at the major league level or really at AAA either. But
at one point had a little prospect shine, but
they do this as soon as they sign or another guy comes on waivers that they value more. These guys will be dropped. They cleared waivers all the way into the Yankees, who are high on that list.
Back to the line.
So I'm guessing the Yankees think if they need to waive these guys, they probably would clear waivers, and then the Yankees can just add them to the minor league system. They do this a lot. No reason to really react or input this. Like, honestly, like I'm just saying it in case there's like diehards out there that want to know how to feel. If our first time Yankee sympathizer listeners,
right,
you don't need to feel a thing about this or really input it.
In the little bit of research I did, Shoemake at one point was a prospect the Braves liked, but it hasn't worked out, hasn't hit at all.
These guys could be gone tomorrow, or they could be
and he's not
AAA.
like a baby anymore.
Yeah.
Owen White, interesting and passes the Matt Blake sniff test. He's 25 and was a top 60 prospect in the league 2 years ago.
Yeah,
on a top 100 list.
A lot of times,
maybe they have a plan for him.
In spring training, you need guys that just take at bats, like Kevin Smith last year and Oscar Gonzalez. They weren't part of the farm system as prospects. I don't think they were really part of the plan. So the Yankees aren't like investing in their future. They're just keeping them around in case they need them right now. But someone needs to take at bats in late February, early March in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th innings of spring training games. And at one point you send your George Lombards and your prospects down so they can start games and get everyday reps. And then you just need these guys. Trey Ambergy, you know what I mean? So they could just be filling that role, and then it gives them a shot to catch on, so it's nice for them. But
like these 2 guys are on the 40-man roster. Like
yes, but they could come and go.
They sensibly have a chance.
Yeah. But. All right, Yankees NRI list. I always love this for real reasons and almost not like sarcasm. Ironic reasons. Yeah. Like I like the NRI list half ironically and half seriously because this also doesn't fully matter. But sometimes there's names that pop up where you're like, Dietrich is invited to the camp. Whoa, shit. I didn't know.
There's a Jake Lamb here.
I haven't read this. You have. So I'm going to pull it up right now and just read it. See if I get any fun reactions. Rafael Flores and Omar Martinez have been brought on as catchers. Are they veteran guys or?
The only one of those three with big league time is Alex Jackson, who we talked about a little bit last episode. Flores is kind of a real prospect for the Yankees. He took a big step last year. Sort of like,
so he's in the minors and invited. He's not like a vet.
Yes, and Martinez also was already in the system young.
Okay.
I believe. Flores is probably people think is this year's like Augustin Ramirez, like catcher who lights up StatCast and maybe he's the prospect they most want to trade.
Okay. So then pitchers, Colton Brewer, we've seen him. Cookie Carrasco, talked about him. Chase Hampton's a minor leaguer. Who's Jeff Hartlieb?
They got him like right after or during the World Series, actually. I remember there was like a MLB trade rumors thing that came out. It was like, Yankees acquire Jeff Hartlieb.
That's one of the worst names I've seen in print.
It's spelled
G.
It's the wrong Jeff.
Geoff and then Hartlieb, Hartlieb. That dude has to spell his name every time he tells someone his name. He has to spell it. That stinks.
Both names.
Eric
I think they got him from
Leal.
the Rockies. And
Eric Leal also not like a great name, if I'm being honest.
not a great name. He's 29. At one point was a prospect traded for somebody, but he's been in the Mexican League for 4 years.
Wow. Brandon Liebrandt. That's another bad name because Brandt is the one with the D and then the T. What's up with these L situations? Gottlieb, L-I-E, Eric Leal, L-E-A, Brandon Liebrandt, and then Leonardo. What's going on? It's too many Lees.
Pastana.
Oh, my God. Look at this name. Leonardo Pastana. Who's that?
He is not one of the guys I've done extended research on.
Awesome. And then the next guy, Eric Reiselman. That's kind of fun when you say it.
Reiselman, he might be a fun one. He throws real hard and has been like in the system and took like a step. He's like as much as relief prospects are real prospect, and is nice to us.
Okay. Hell yeah. And on looks, I didn't know if I was going to like his name, but then when I said it, Rieselman?
I think just straight up Reiselman.
Reiselman? That's fun to say.
The Y.
Kevin Stevens and Cam Schlittler. Oh, shit. I hope Cam Schlittler gets some run. Jake would have a field day with that.
That'll be good.
So not a lot of popping names there, besides Cookie Carrasco, who we already knew about.
Wilking Rodriguez is fun. He has big league time in 2014, went away for a few years. Yankees signed him and rehabbed him, and then the Cardinals took him from the Yankees in the Rule 5. He got hurt again, and the Yankees have been like, no, we've been wanting this guy for like 3 years now. So he has a chance to be this year's Litke. Like, no, we've wanted him since whatever.
So
because they have
which
signed
one was
him
that?
twice. Wilking Rodriguez, another tough name.
Wait. Oh, Wilking Rodriguez. Wilking. My brain went right past that one.
Yeah.
I just said no thank you. All right, so then...
position players.
Yeah, George Lombard, 19-year-old, highly valued prospect. He's going to get the first couple weeks of run and then probably get sent to minor league camp again. But that's fun. Roderick Arias, also 20 years old, so probably getting that treatment as well. Then Spencer Jones, he should get a full run in big league camp. He should actually get a decent amount of at-bats, right?
Yeah, like he was an NRI last year, too. Like, that was his first taste of big league camp. So he should be able to stick around until close to the Yankees. He'll, like, actually be in AAA to start the year, likely.
Yeah.
Arias and Lombard are like the two best prospects in the system, on the position player end at least. So
I like that the Yankees
exciting.
I like they're doing this with their teenage prospects now, giving them a week in the bigs, letting them hang around the big guys, and they don't really do. They haven't done that. Like, we were surprised Lombard was getting run as 19-year-old. Like, they didn't do it with Dominguez when he was 18, 19.
No, Lombard, I think they uniquely love. He was a first-round pick of theirs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. They were kind of on my nerdy prospect websites. They were saying like they probably won't be NRIs. You'll see them in a couple spring games, but they won't be up. Yankees said nope, they're going to be here. You're going to see them for at least a couple weeks.
They brought in Pablo Reyes, 31 years old, as a spy. He has spent time with Boston and the New York Mets, so they're just going to get some trade secrets out of him and then send him on his way. But he has utility, shortstop, second base, third base, outfield, first base. So he's just got experience anywhere. Probably going to get a lot of run in those 6th to 9th innings of spring.
I don't know where his service time's at and if he can opt out at the end, but if he doesn't, that's a nice piece for AAA. The AAA team, him and Velasquez, who you're about to get to.
Velasquez, if you don't remember, was the starting shortstop for the Yankees. No, he didn't. Did he get the start?
He started the wild card game. I think they pinch hit
Rather early?
They pinch hit like in the 4th inning.
Because he got one at bat. What are you doing, Yankees? What were you doing that year?
That was the year Gio became the shortstop down the stretch. So, and they were like, well, wild card, Andujar.
They pinch hit Odor.
Yeah.
And moved Gio to shortstop. And Odor
was third.
And Rugi played third. What were you guys doing?
I was trying to remember who finished the year as the third baseman. And it was
2021, more frustrating than 2023 in a way. It was such a window, and they were penny pinching worse than in their existence. That's the worst, I think, we've seen their penny pitching affect a season. Odor was
the worst
on
to be like felt in real time.
In real time. Odor was around because he was free.
Like the 2023 team, we were just like, this team isn't good enough.
Injuries and then no depth, and then their top talent got injured. Let's not. I can't do that.
No.
Fun exercise. How does Squid get on the team? Yeah, right. So he spent all last year in AAA. I'm not sure what he was doing. He's
with the Braves.
He's a Bronx kid. The crowd's gonna love him. He's a defensive whiz. He was up with the Angels for a little bit. Offensive numbers are not going to excite you, nor should you even look at them. In AAA, they're still not great, but he punched up. But he's a glove, so his role. I was just trying to think, how would he get on the opening day list? And I figured it out. DJ's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Someone comes calling about Peraza because he has no options, and they want him as a starter. Oswaldo Cabrera is a starting third baseman. So who's your backup utility, can grab a glove and play everywhere guy that you don't? It would be Squid for a little bit, and then you'd hope someone in the minors, like you can find someone
if they
elsewhere.
Find themselves needing the spot, they're okay with the DFA there.
So like an injury, Peraza gets traded because he's out of options, and someone is saying like, yeah, we'll give you this like reliever that's out of
or this
for him.
catcher.
And then
they don't currently have a backup.
Yeah, like when who started in 2018? Who was the Yankees 2018? Cosma. A Pete Cosma role where Squid's just on the bench. So that's his path.
Jemai Jones last year, but he just lasted till July or whatever.
Crush lefties. Let off
a few, DH'd a few.
Crazy. Yeah, Jemai Jones role. Like, because the Yanks don't really deploy their bench, but they might more. If they have Squid, he's just a defensive replacement.
If he made his way on to the 26-man roster.
And who's he defensive replacing?
He's fast enough to pinch run for somebody if it comes up.
He'd pinch run for Stanton at the very end.
It's like
it really doesn't make sense, but I hope he.
Yeah, it's like, are we doing something about getting?
Maybe
somebody's battling some sort of injury, and we want to get them off their feet.
Maybe 2 injuries would it need to be the situation there. Outfielders and Dom Smith. I didn't talk about him, but we've talked about him a lot. TJ Rumfield, didn't talk about him, but he's been in the system. Is he an Ambergy-esque, like not high prospect, but in the system?
Not high prospect. He's like a first base defensive whiz, which is like a hilarious archetype.
Get him to spend some time with Goldie and have some fun. Outfielders, Brennan Davis, Duke Ellis, Spencer Jones. We talked about all those guys last episode, so I'm not going to dive in. And then Ismael Munguia. How do you say that name?
That one I don't have a good guess on.
Who is that?
It's an outfielder that they have brought in.
Ismael. There's been 2 big leaguers with the name Ismael. Ismael, I don't know how you say it. And then Munguia?
Munguia.
All right, so he's from Nicaragua. Okay, Baseball Reference says you pronounce it Ismael El Munguia. Ismael El Munguia. Kind of puts the accent right in your mouth for you. Ismael Munguia. Munguia. Okay, what a name.
Bats lefty.
He got a leadoff home run last year. Let's listen to it. Let's see how they say it.
Kind of hitting Double-A.
Munguia.
Set to deal out of the stretch. His first pitch to Munguia is slashed in the air towards right deep. Austin Murr going backpedaling at the wall. He looks up, and it is gone on the first pitch of the game. Ismael Munguia
Ishmael Munguia, said that guy, who I don't trust. He also said he slashed it to right. It was a home run. It didn't look like it was going out, but that's a really benign call for a first pitch of the game home run.
Slash doesn't usually become homers.
First pitch of the game, bomb. Slash to right field, and it's gone. You got a little bit. That's fine.
He's played in the Sacramento Park.
All right.
So he's big league stadium now.
That's all. That's everything.
Yeah.
Quick break and then some numbers.
Super Bowl 59 is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to get in with the DraftKings Sportsbook. They've got all the action, and all new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5 when you use code YANKS. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Oh, okay. There's some good information. You have a shot to score big by betting on them at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code YANKS. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Just to end the show here on some fun I had last night.
Fun with numbers.
The Yankees got some new numbers, which is what spurred this whole situation in my head where I wanted to dig into some things. The new numbers are as follows. Thinking. Jasson Dominguez is now number 24. That's a number that... So this is what started. 24 is a number that has been the key to my heart by a ton of people in Yankees history. Not recently, like not since Gary, I don't think. But number 24 had a stretch where it was like, yep. You know, if you go back in the day, Ricky Henderson and then Deion Sanders wore it. Kevin Moss wore it. He was obviously his first couple of years were very exciting. Like those early 90s fans would like flash their boobs at him. Do you remember that in the documentary? That was crazy.
Remember it in the doc.
Tino Martinez wore it. Ruben Sierra, the Twitter god, wore it. What's up, Ruben? Sidney Ponson wore it for a year. That's funny. But then Cano wore it. So you've got a lot of all-stars. Ricky Henderson was an all-star in 24. Tino was an all-star in 24. Robinson Cano was an all-star in 24. Gary Sanchez was an all-star in 24. Some other names that weren't all-stars: Chris Young, Zoilo Almonte, Scott Sizemore, Gary Sanchez, Ike Davis. Matt Carpenter wore 24. That was a brief stint of heartthrob. Then Calhoun and Verdugo. So I'm glad it's back in good graces.
It's been a number that has mostly gone through like productive players.
I hope it's back in good graces. So then I was just on Yankees numbers and thinking, and like I've talked about this on the show before because the number 12 boggles my mind. It's the second lowest number available. Volpe has the lowest available with 11. Yeah. And
I guess zero's in circulation now if you're counting that.
Basketball, you can be 0 and 00, which makes no sense, because can you be 0, 1 and 1? No. So cut the shit, basketball. You can't be 0 and 00. I can't be 0, 2 and Jake is 2.
I know at one point it like was a rule that you couldn't be both. And then just a couple years ago I watched an NBA game and two guys had it. And I was like,
too many zeros.
So I changed that.
That's what I don't like about the NBA. Too many zeros. Yankees number 12, this is my tweet that I'm reading, has been having a rough go over the last 20 years. I pulled all the stats, which took me a little bit last night, but I had to figure it out. The number 12 has a slash line over the last 20 years. We're talking about 1,889 games, 6,398 plate appearances, 249 batting average, 313 on base, 376 slug. That's actually higher than I thought. It's only gotten 140 games in a season 4 times, 3 of them by Chase Headley, 1 of them by IKF. Over 20 years, if they give the number 12 to a guy, a prominent number, second lowest, it's been to a guy who gets hurt or a bench guy. It's bizarre.
It's a number like somebody who comes to the team might like want.
Yes.
Like the Yankees don't have a lot of those.
You know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like the names are somewhat big in baseball. but they're just not at a point where they should be, they're not
a lot of guys at the end.
They're not doing the number 12 any respect. It has only had an OPS plus above 100 one time. I did a minimum of 60 games. I was going to do 82 games. Like you had to have a half a season. But I could lower it to 60. And that was Eric Chavez in 2012. Crazy. The full list from 2004 on. Kenny Lofton, 83 games. Tony Womack, 108 games. So those are two like vets that came in. You give them the low number, right? Andy Phillips, baby Bombers. Remember that? I love that little team in 06 and 07, that sprint when he was there. Kevin Thompson, Alberto Gonzalez, Pudge. Ivan Rodriguez wore it. 33 games.
It's like the worst 33 games of his career offensive production.
Horrible. Cody Ransom. He wore it before A-Rod came back from injury. He got 31 games. Eduardo Nunez in his rookie season. I thought we were going to get a decent season out of him. No.
I think his best times he was in other numbers here.
Yep. Eric Chavez then took it from Nunez. He had it for 2 years. He had a great season in 2012. Vernon Wells. That's along the lines of Kenny Lofton, Tony Womack, Ivan Rodriguez, Vernon Wells. Then Alfonso Soriano comes. He had, in 2013, an amazing 58-game stretch. That was so fun. The next season, 2014, he played 67 games. Not as great. Chase Headley takes it from Alfonso Soriano. Chase Headley has like a decent, like that's the best run we get. It's nearing average to below average offensively, but the best season was 2017 where he had a 100 OPS plus. Tyler Wade had it his rookie season. I thought like 2021 Tyler Wade had a decent numbers, remember? Or is that 2022? I forget what it was. I thought we might get something there like Eduardo Nunez, but it was his rookie season, not great. Troy Tulowitzki, 5 games. Great numbers. 1 good game. Rougned Odor, IKF, Trent Grisham. The number 12's just gone through tough times. So we need to figure that one out. Trent's wearing it currently, so I don't know. Then the other number that's weird is 22. 22 has a bizarre.
Yeah.
It's going on a rough stretch as well, number 22. Like Soto obviously crushed it last year. Between Cano,
but that has a bad taste in our mouths.
Between Cano and Soto, the number 22 had a...
And Cano moved off it.
Yeah, because Clemens came and took it from him.
Yeah.
And then Nady, LaTroy Hawkins, after he tried to take 21 and everyone bullied the shit out of him. Xavier Nady took it. Colin Curtis, don't remember that. 3 guys wore it in 2010. Colin Curtis, Chad Huffman, and Randy Wynn. How about that? Aaron Laffey, in 2011, 3 guys wore 22. Aaron Laffey, Greg Golson, and Brian Gordon. In 2012, Andrew Jones had it. Wow, forgot all about that. Wow, 2013, Travis Ishikawa, Vernon Wells, Thomas Neal, Brennan Bosch.
Oh, yeah. Well, Vernon Wells. Soriano comes back to the team and wants 12 back. This war first time around with the Yankees.
Yeah, so Vernon Wells' numbers are split. I don't know when he changed the number mid-season. Jacoby Ellsbury had it for a little bit, probably some decent seasons there. Then Jordy Mercer, Chris Iannetta, Greg Allen, Bader, and Soto. So 22 is odd too. I wanted to do an exercise. It's hard to do. I wanted to find a number that has had like 3 above average seasons in a row, 3 different players.
Ooh.
Because obviously you just take Judge and you're like 99 does it. But like for one team, this number had 3 different guys in a row. And everyone that wore it in this 3-year stretch fucking crushed for any team. I don't think that data exists.
Yeah, they don't necessarily track numbers by
Baseball Savant, put it in there. Put jersey number so I can track that and we can find what jersey number had the best year.
The one that the Yankees have their best shot at that for, and Shane Robinson gets in the way of this. But number 25 has gone Giambi to Teixeira, Shane Robinson for 1 year, to Glaber. So that was almost your best bet there, and Glaber's had some up and downs.
Well, Glaber and Shane Robinson shared it in 2018. So Glaber, did he?
It was out of circulation between Teixeira and then, which I guess is just one.
18,
year.
19, 20. No, you have 17 where it didn't exist.
Yeah. But that is, You take Shane Robinson out of it, no offense. That's probably the best three names in a row.
You can. I think you can because Glaber wore it in 2018. So you have 2016, 2018, 2019. It was an all-star. No, 2016, Tex had it.
This is such nerdy uniform number talk, but our office was pretty excited when it became available, and Jasson Dominguez, who's named after Giambi, we thought was going to end up with 25, and we were like, well, that'll be poetic. And he took 24.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like.
24 is closer to my heart. I like even numbers. All right. That's the show. We appreciate you. I got to go get my reps in, warm up the wing, hurt myself a little. It's blitzball season. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Thanks for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. All right.